Hello, I'm Victor, and I'm excited to talk to you about my work quantifying nitrate accumulation in the groundwater of the upper Mississippi River Basin. Today, I'm going to talk about predictor variables. And these predictor variables are the factors that we think can be related to the variable we're interested in. So in this case, we're looking at things that might control how nitrogen is transported and transformed at the surface, below the surface, but above the water table, and then within the groundwater of the upper Mississippi River Basin. So in my work, we used a wide range of these predictors. Here on the right, we can see one example of soil chemistry. So this is the soil calcium carbonate equivalent across the entire watershed. We also included things like geology, so the bedrock beneath the surface, the climate, so things like temperature or precipitation that might affect how nitrogen can get into the groundwater. We also looked at things like land cover and other variables that could influence how much nitrogen is being applied at the surface. So I'll show you some of these maps so we can see some examples. On the left, we can see our land cover map. And land cover is super important because it can tell us what kinds of nitrogen and how much nitrogen is being applied at the surface. So here we can see that we have a lot of this yellow agricultural land, and that can indicate that we're going to have some agricultural fertilizer or livestock, or maybe nitrogen being fixed by legumes. Here on the right, we can see an example of a predictor underneath the Earth's surface. So here is the bedrock aquifer formations. So these are the aquifers of the upper Mississippi River Basin. On this next slide, we can see a couple more examples. So on the left, we have hog density. And this is important because livestock, their waste can enter the groundwater and can increase the concentrations of nitrate. And then on the right, we have an example of an elevation variable, or the slope. So if we have a really high slope, then we might have the water running off into surface water rather than percolating through the soil to transport nitrogen from the surface and the on the saturated zone into the groundwater. And here we can see just a quick list of some of the really important predictors that we found for nitrate concentration. Our top one was the depth. So how deep you dig your groundwater well can influence how much nitrates could enter the well. And then after that, we have land cover. And so that indicates how much nitrogen we have entering the surface. And then we also have things like these blue variables that control the unsaturated zone. So this would be things like the soil chemistry or the conductivity, or how easily water can move through the soil. Thank you so much for listening, and please let me know if you have any questions. Take care.